Crimbo Content Championship Part 2.
Yes. Will it be as heated as last week's debate?
I think it will, but I'm ready for it to be heated this week. Last week I thought it was going to be really easy, and you fucking pulled a fast one on me.
This is where this week's just going to be really easy because we both agree or something.
I don't think it will be. We have got The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
The 2000 edition with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Versus Love Actually, the British icon.
Yes.
As always, we have got 6 categories to help us make our decision.
Wow.
Personal relevance, how well it is aged, rewatchability, story, acting, and cinematography / general visual appeal.
Yep.
I'm not looking forward to this one.
Oh.
And I'm going to explain why with my personal relevance.
Okay.
Personal relevance, The Grinch.
Mm.
My favourite Christmas movie by far.
Oh, this is...
Personal relevance for Love Actually. My second favourite Christmas movie by far.
I feel like this is going to be more painful just for you.
Yes. I don't tend to have favourite things. I think we've like kind of established that. Like as a general rule, I'm very much like recency bias, or like I have favourites, but I very rarely have like a favourite. Someone asked me my favourite film or book or comic or song.
Spider-Man.
I'm like, I don't know, these general area things.
Spider-Man for all the above.
Yeah, Spider-Man is my favourite song, you're right.
Yeah.
But with Christmas films, like, these are absolutely both top 2. This is gonna hurt. Where's your personal relevance at for these, big boy?
So, The Grinch is probably, I would say The Grinch and Home Alone 1 are like the 2 oldest Christmas films I remember from being a kid. Of like vivid memory of watching them on TV every year. So like The Grinch, pretty high up there as like one of my top films to watch every Christmas. Love Actually, I've seen a few times. Like it's a great film. I can't say that it's like always a go-to film for me to watch. Though I did happen to watch it literally like a couple weeks ago. But that's because my sisters put it on. But yeah, it's one like I definitely lean Grinch, but Love Actually is classic British Christmas film.
How well has it aged? These might be some of the most I've ever written, notes-wise, for a content championship.
Oh, damn.
It's not loads.
Maybe we need to just switch to doing Christmas films all year round.
Yeah. I think for The Grinch, that the generation of kids who grew up with it, i.e. yourself, myself, the people who watched it as kids.
Us millennials.
Yeah, well, I'm Gen Z technically. Don't feel like it, but I technically am. We find The Grinch incredibly relatable. Like every single Christmas, all you see is a million different freeze frames of The Grinch. And it's kind of like, why was he right though?
Yeah.
It's like, he's kind of base.
Honestly, like I think that Grinch film as well, because of the level of practical that they went to. Although it has that older Christmas film feel to it, like it's got that era, it still looks great.
It looks phenomenal.
The story, like you say, there's so many, I feel like as we get older, we're like, I relate with the Grinch far too much.
Hate, loathe entirely.
But the thing is, it's like, we relate to it not necessarily around Christmas, but we relate to it just in our daily lives. And it's like, why is the Grinch not just a Christmas film?
And you are absolutely lying if you don't tear up a little bit when his heart grows 3 sizes and he has to save Cindy Lou and he saves Christmas. It's brilliant. If you don't like it, you're a heartless fuck. Now, how well is it aged for Love Actually?
I have a great thing to say here.
Go on, you go first.
probably one of the greatest British prime ministers we ever had.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how well it's aged. The fake prime
Um,
minister has been better than all of our actual prime ministers.
um, when I was younger, I enjoyed the comedy aspects of the story, and
Mm,
like how like you get the big reveal at the end that they're all intertwined. And you're like, oh, that's really cool.
yeah,
And as I age, which I know sounds crazy, I'm only 24, but as I've emotionally matured, I enjoy the actual stories so much more, as
yeah,
well as, and what I always try to work, because it is at its core like a rom com,
yeah,
which aren't my go to. But what I realized is the reason I don't mind it is it just doesn't just show romantic love. It's got romantic love, but it shows friendships and
well,
brother
yeah,
and sisters, and it shows like all them different relationships that are really important at Christmas. Like they're not just like, no, the only person that matters is the person that you fall in love with. It's like, no, your family matter, your
yeah,
friends matter, your brothers matter. That yes, old love, new love, don't betray your love, fucking Alan Rickman. Um, but it is very much like, oh, such a wide variety of relationships, and yeah, they all have these intertwining moments which are
mm,
beautiful. But it's just that kind of, no matter what you're going through at a Christmas,
yeah.
there is a story in Love Actually
That's
that you can
relatable.
resonate with.
Yeah, it
Like
could.
it's
I
one
think
of the best.
as it's like, as you say, as we've aged with it, it's just as entertaining, and if not, like with the Grinch, more relatable to like an understanding of that is what Christmas is.
I genuinely think you could watch Love Actually every year for 10 years and relate to a different story every time you watch it.
Yeah,
Just because of the way like life changes and you go through different parts of your life, there are going to be different things that you relate to at different times. And I think that's the beauty of it.
yeah.
Rewatchability might be the drawiest draw we've ever had, literally every year,
See,
without fail.
for me, I've definitely watched The Grinch way more times than I've watched Love Actually.
Um, I mean, maybe I've watched The Grinch more, but for as long as like I've been old enough to have a say in what Christmas films we watch as a family, they both get watched every year. Like they're
I w-
class. I love them
I
so
would
much.
say I've seen The Grinch start to finish more than I've seen Love Actually start to finish. The amount of times where I've come in to like the sitting room and my sisters have Love Actually, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll stick and watch this. It's like I always seem to come in partway through that film.
Yeah, that's that. I you know what? It does seem to be the film that gets played on TV a lot as well,
Yes, it's
especially like the
always on British
midday
TV.
films. Yeah, I mean, it's one of very few like British films that are just genuine 100% masterpieces. Cannot be argued.
Yeah,
Um, right, story again. I've set myself up for a very big draw here. As far as I am concerned, they are both 10 out of 10 stories.
yeah, and you've also got to. We've got to remember these are Christmas films, so they've got to
Yep,
convey Christmas. Both
yep.
cracking Christmas stories.
Do you know what I always love about The Grinch?
Go
I
on.
routinely forget until the end of the film that it takes place on a snowflake.
Yes, everyone forget.
I, I,
Everyone.
I re-
It's one of them
it's
details that
in the
people don't
opening
believe.
credits where they
Yeah,
fly onto it, and then every single year I'm watching it, I'm seeing the credits, I'm like, oh yeah, it takes place on a snowflake.
yeah,
It's beautiful, and it is the story of Christmas done properly without religion, which is actually really difficult to do because Christmas is inherently
yes,
tied to religion. But it's kind of like, no, Christmas has outgrown religion directly, but even if you're not religious, you shouldn't just fall into the commercialism of Christmas. There
yeah,
is still a meaning to be taken from Christmas, and it is checking in with people who maybe are a little bit too reclusive and need to lighten up. And maybe you need to hold your family accountable to not just care about presents and just this hyper
hmm,
commercialized world. Maybe like check on your neighbor, make sure they're
yeah.
okay. It's a beautiful story told in a masterfully comedic way. I just love it. I could talk about the Grinch for hours.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. It's great, great story.
And then on the flip side, you've got Love Actually, which is a genuine storytelling masterpiece to have all of these stories, again, so different individually, and
Yeah,
then they all just tie up nicely.
it's almost like a snapshot of what a British Christmas and shows so many different aspects and ways people celebrate Christmas. And then it's all tied up in a classic school nativity play.
100%.
And it's like,
But
which
but
everyone
it's
then
just
relates to because they're like, oh yeah.
it's the beauty of it. You've got Liam Neeson, who's now got a stepson that he's clearly not that close with, but he's trying to be really close with because his wife, the boy's son's passed away,
Yeah.
and they become close by him helping him fall in love with a girl. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you've got Liam Neeson's friend, who is Emma Thompson. Fucking love Emma Thompson. She's married to Alan Rickman. It should be the best thing ever, but Alan Rickman's character's a bastard. And Emma Thompson's brother is the Prime Minister who falls in love with his new secretary, whose sister goes to the same
Yeah.
school as the. And then you've got the friends who go to America, and it's just
Then you got Rick
brilliant.
Grimes.
Yes, oh, you've got
There's so
everyone.
we're getting into into
Yeah,
acting here,
yeah.
but yeah.
But and then you've got like the really funny like the arc in the background of Bill Nighy's character doing the new Christmas song, and it's just
Yeah.
I love it so much. It is so good. The storytelling. I'd never want to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy for this time and this time only. They just don't make them like it anymore, Harry.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Honestly, if every film took the kind of formula of Love Actually and was like, we're going to have too many characters, and
Yeah.
we're going to have all these stories that actually don't rely on any other story, but we're still going to tie them together anyway,
Yeah,
I think I'd
it's
die a happy man.
it's such a complex, like on paper, so complex, but it just works so well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I love it so much. Now, acting. This is just getting rougher and rougher. Normally the first three are the rough ones, but not today. Acting. Peak Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like, Jim Carrey is absolute peak. The man learnt CIA
Yeah.
torture survival techniques to get through the makeup for this film.
And gave us the performance of a lifetime with the Grinch.
I don't know, like, it's because it's a Christmas film. The man should have won an Oscar. It is one of the
Yeah.
best comedic performances I have ever seen.
Like, he genuinely became that character of the Grinch.
Yes,
Like, he
100%.
fully embodied it so much. And
I
it's
think
like,
that's part of the reason I love the Grinch so much, because I genuinely, with my entire heart and soul, do not believe any other human being, alive, dead, will be alive, could do that as well as he did.
no one. That is a role made for Jim Carrey.
100%. It's crazy. The man just became the Grinch in every morsel of his being. Everything. Like, this is my favorite thing, and everyone's probably heard it a million times. But the bit when he's getting ready to go to the Yuletide celebrations, and he rips the fucking thing out,
Yeah.
the tablecloth out perfectly. Everything was supposed to go flying, but he accidentally did it perfectly, so nothing fell. And then he stayed in character and messed up the table.
Yeah.
And that made the Grinch even more of the Grinch, because it's this idea that the Grinch can do something perfectly, but he's so anti everything he has to mess
Yeah.
it up anyway.
And
And that wasn't even supposed to be the
it's
bit.
like the story that he tells about how he was taught and learned to get through the makeup of like smoking to distract
Yeah.
himself. He would hit himself. So he's there and he talks about how he's in full costume, sat with a cigarette in a cigarette holder, just going smoking and going, yeah, and smacking himself, which is like the Grinch. Like that just gives Grinch energy.
He said he always says he had a little mantra for himself, just you're doing it for the kids, you're doing it for the kids. He might
Honestly.
like I don't as a general rule believe that only one actor can do a role. Like, yes, Hugh Jackman was brilliant as Wolverine, and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Other actors can do a good job.
Yeah.
No one can get close to a live action Grinch like Jim Carrey can.
No.
No one has the physical comedy prowess and the actual acting skill to go along with it.
100% agree.
But then you've got Love Actually. Would you like to see what I've written down for this, or would you like to hear what I've written down for this?
Go on.
One of the greatest ensemble casts in history, Fight me.
It honestly felt like they just were like uh, British actors and actresses.
They got Rowan Atkinson at his peak in for a
Yeah.
2-minute bit.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Liam
Martin
Neeson,
Freeman.
like that. Martin Freeman. Like, let's
Hugh
get this Love
Grant.
Actually cast up.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah, you've got Hugh Grant, Emma Thompson, Liam Neeson, Keira Knightley,
Colin Firth. I forgot Colin Firth
Colin
was in it.
Firth, Alan Rickman, Andrew Lincoln, Martin
Oh
Freeman,
my god, it's everyone. And like, don't get me wrong,
obviously
not all
Bill
of these
Nye.
guys were as famous as they were
Well, yeah, some of them
then
were
as they
early
are
careers,
now.
some were
But
like,
still, I've scrolled down to like the 6th row here and I'm still seeing mega famous faces.
yeah, it
Like, it's crazy.
it was a stacked cast, such a
I
stacked
just
cast.
I've never seen anything like it. Like when we've had like Harry Potter in the other bracket, we've
Yeah,
always said that is such a cast. This Love Actually cast blows it out of the water. Like,
it's
they've got 3 solid rows on Google of just absolute superstars.
yeah,
It is crazy.
it is a
You've never seen
when
anything like it.
you think about like when you watch it, you're like, God, there's so many like top tier actors and actresses, and it's like obviously back when it was done, some of those were in their early careers, so it wasn't like as crazy that they were in it. But it's like they've all gone on to do so well.
And they were all rent was due. Like, none of them pulled their punches. They
Oh
were
yeah, they
all
all did
acting.
great performances.
Yeah. No one was reining it in because I think it was one of them things where they were all like they all knew they were good actors, and a lot of them hadn't hit their peak yet, but a lot of them were quite big. Like Alan
Yeah,
Rickman, Emma Thompson, Hugh Grant were all quite big. Liam Neeson were
yeah,
already quite big. So I think they kind of bounced off each other and they're like, I'm not going to be out acted on this set. And as a result, what you just get is everyone just giving it their absolute all.
I can imagine it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. No one ever seems to say anything bad about working on that film.
No,
Everyone seemed to enjoy it. Cinematography. This might be the only easy one on the list.
okay,
For a 2000s film, there was some insanely good artistic decisions in The Grinch. The
yeah,
art style and sets they designed and put together
yep.
are gorgeous. I love it so much.
It's the practical.
Yeah,
It's just
it's a long lost art at this time. It feels. And for the 2000s, when like stuff was starting to go the wrong way, they didn't even really lean in it at all. They were very much the George Lucas ilk of no, we'll do it practical, and then if anything needs a touch up, we'll use the computers. Um,
yeah.
so good, and like it even had because obviously it's a Dr. Seuss book. They
Hmm.
even like used a couple of the bits from the book with like the silhouettes and stuff
Yeah, they were
for
clever
like
about it.
inspiration for the shots. And it just so good. Whereas Love Actually is bang average.
Yeah, I
They
feel
worried
like,
about the acting, the script, and the cast. They were not worried about it
do you
looking
know what?
beautiful.
Love Actually is shot like a British TV show.
Yes, 100%.
It's that
Just
like
on a bigger
visual,
budget.
which essentially because like if you think about it, it's shown on British TV every year. Like
Yeah,
it's essentially that's they made it for what it like they've done it for what it is, and it's
yeah.
like, well, yeah, it's
Um,
nothing crazy. It fits
it
what it
it
was.
has a couple of really nice shots and sequences, but it's nothing that's going to blow you away
No,
purely on the cinematography, which is fine. It's a Christmas film. No Christmas film really needs to blow you away with the cinematography.
no,
But in this particular instance, The Grinch is just gorgeous. I love it so much. Um, Now this is the bit I really dislike.
yeah,
Personal relevance, I'm just going to call a draw. Even though I've said The Grinch is my favorite Christmas movie, I want to call that a draw
okay. Well,
so that
I
it's
go
on
Grinch,
you.
but we'll call it a draw.
Okay. How well it's aged. I think The Grinch is aged better.
I feel I relate to the Grinch
Yeah.
to a higher degree.
Do you know what my problem is? I don't know if Love Actually like is still watched outside of the UK.
Yeah. I think the
That's my only
Grinch,
problem.
when you think about the Grinch, is globally known as a great
Yeah.
Christmas film.
Um, is if we get loads of comments saying, "Oh no, the Love Actually is huge in America, we love it," then maybe we'll change our mind. But I think the Grinch has probably aged better.
Yeah.
Rewatchability and story for me are a draw.
I would have the Grinch on rewatchability.
Okay, cool. So that makes
Story,
it
I would have it as draw.
okay. So I think that makes it 2-0 Grinch so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Acting, I think has to go to Love Actually, doesn't it? As much as I don't want to, because Jim Carrey's so good. It is literally. Can you name a better ensemble cast that all pull out all the
It's
stops
so
like this film?
difficult because it's like, I want to give it to Love Actually for the cast, but I want to give it to the Grinch purely for what Jim Carrey had to go through for that performance.
I
Like
just
the
I just
the
don't
level of
think
commitment it gave.
I just don't think one like perfect
Yeah, but
like
the man
performance
was
outweighs like
tortured
20
daily.
superstars. Yeah, but 20 superstars all acting like rent is due.
Yeah, it's so tough
It's
because
a
I
draw
just,
or Love Actually. The Grinch is not winning
oh
acting.
no, yeah,
I can maybe stomach a draw.
I'll go draw.
Okay. So that means it's still 2-0 the Grinch. Cinematography was the only easy one. 3-0 the Grinch. I think I can live with that.
Yeah,
I think I can live with that.
considering it's the other 3 points are all draws.
Yeah.
Like these are
I
just edging. Grinch is just edged slightly ahead
yeah.
in these 3 categories. It's like,
And that could just be because it helped my heart grow 3 sizes.